experiencing endless exhaustion, crazy headaches, strange glitches, and complete and utter overwhelm, then you found yourself exactly where you need to be. Because today I want to talk about what the heck is going on right now at this time. And even if you're finding this video long after this live, then things are only going to increase in strangeness. And this is what I want to talk about. Now, not only are we being deeply affected by weird timeline glitches and body aches and pains and huge bouts of sickness and exhaustion and challenge and shit breaking down. But I mean, America, I should say the United States of America, is on the brink of a civil war, assassination attempts. Everyone's getting cloned apparently these days. Not to mention, we had a huge financial collapse in the stock markets. Governments are buying cryptocurrency. I mean, really, what world are we living in right now? Like, what exactly is going on? And, every Monday, I anchor in. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. And I've had so many downloads recently. A lot of information has come through. And so I was meditating earlier today thinking, what does humanity need to know? Like, I have 1 hour or really 30 minutes with potentially 50,000 people, potentially 100,000 people or more. What can I give them to help them, to shift them, to awaken them, to wake them up? And I thought about all the things. Is it aliens? Is it cloning? Is it the financial collapse? Is it the solar flares? Is it the politics and the election? I mean, there is so much going on. And the information that I'm going to go into today really felt like it was the best. It was the most important information that I can present. And that's what I do every week. And, you know, one of the titles that I was going to put on this video is I'm confused. I personally am very confused. And the reason why is because I'm really struggling to figure out where I fit in to this really rapidly shifting and changing world. And we're going to talk about that because we are never before have we experienced this. We are on the brink of one of the biggest transformations that humanity has ever gone through. We are literally in the middle, in the transition between two different densities, two different dimensions, and no one knows what's going on. And even us who know what's going on, we have no idea how to navigate it. So I don't know if I need to be talking about the old Earth or the new Earth or the weird bullshit in between the Earths. I have no idea. I am so overwhelmed, so utterly confused, and it feels like every single day I am riding a different wave of experience. And it's so unusual. 2024 has been way more strange and glitchy and unusual than even 2020 was, even 2012 was. So let's unpack this. Let's get into it. I'm hoping that by the end of this video, you're either way more reassured or also way more confused. I mean, it's maybe a little bit of both. Before we get into it, this is going to be a pretty busy week for information and content and goodies. So coming up on Thursday, we've got the Lionsgate 8-8 portal. I think this is part of it. We've got solar flares, we've got planetary alignments, we've got retrogrades, we've got, ley lines intersecting, we've got portals opening up. We've got new moons, we've got full moons. I don't know. I'm not an astrologer, but there's shit going on and it's really, I don't know about you guys, but it's really affecting me. And I can't figure out if it's good or bad. But yeah, coming up on 8/8, I've got a two-part Lionsgate special. So I'll be coming on at 5:55 Eastern Standard or 2:55 Pacific Standard Time for the first part of sort of how do we utilize the energy? Like, what is actually happening that day? So, I'll talk about that. And then I've got a really incredible guided meditation. And I just sent it off to my audio editor today. And he's going to add in some super high vibrational frequencies in the background. So, that should be really good. That's going to be posted to the website. So, if you want, pretty much, and my intention for the Lionsgate meditation was actually all about healing at our cellular level. So if you feel like you have been tired and you feel like you have been sort of lacking and getting sick way more often, I really felt the need to bring attention and focus to re-energizing our systems, body, mind, all of it. So that's coming up on Thursday. Once again, part one will be on YouTube. Part two, the meditation, is going to be on the website, posted only after the YouTube is done. So probably around 6:30. And then what else? And then coming up on Sunday, which is August 11th, we've got the Galactic Federation meeting, as always. And I'm going to be asking about the Ashtar command. I really don't know. I've never channeled the Ashtar command. I don't know if I will just directly channel them or I'll ask the Galactic Federation about. I mean, who are they and what is their mission? And do you work with them? Are they kind of a subsection of the Galactic Federation? I'm also going to be asking about ETs visiting Earth. I'm going to be asking about reptilians and the reincarnation cycle. Is there any way to sort of cut reptilians off from reincarnating here? Like, what's the deal with them? And is there anything we can do to influence that? And then also, how our DNA is being affected by all of the shifts, and a couple of mystery questions thrown in there as well. And I think that was all my updates. So I want to give you a little glitch story that happened just a couple of days ago. And it kind of sums up, sort of the energy recently. And like I said, I've had a lot of glitches for a very long time, like over a decade now. I've been really experiencing the Mandela effect and different timeline shifts and glitches, and I try and write them down. Anyway, 2024 has been sort of next level around this. So, just about 2 days ago, I woke up in the morning. Nat, my wife, was taking care of Bodhi, our son. And, I look out the front window and I see her all the way up at the mailbox. And here in Ontario, anyway, we have a big property and like a really long driveway. And so my first thought is, why would she be all the way up there if like Bodhi's in the house? Like basically, where's Bodhi? And then I actually get up and then I realize Bodhi's taking a nap and then she's probably just going to check the mail. And then when I walk into the living room, there she is in the exact same outfit, which I hadn't seen her that morning. So I saw her in the same outfit up by the mailbox and then the exact same outfit sitting on the couch. And I look at her like she's a ghost and she looks at me and I run back to the front window looking for her up by the mailbox. And of course, she's not there. And I said, I swear I just saw you up by the mailbox. Now, we don't live in suburbia. We live in the boonies here. We live in the middle of nowhere. I've never seen my neighbors, okay? So it's like a good indication. We live in like sort of a Mennonite type village situation out here. And so it wasn't just a random neighbor walking by. People don't walk by around here. And it was just bizarre. And I said, I swear I saw you up there. And she said, yeah, I was thinking about 15 minutes ago that I should walk up and check the mail, and then I decided not to. So here is a great example of before I observed what reality she chose, I ended up seeing an alternate reality, an alternate timeline that she was also existing in. And back when we had our dog before she passed away, I called her the quantum dog because I would see her in the bedroom going under the bed or sleeping at the corner of the bed, or I'd see her in her bed, and then all of a sudden I'd look the other way and there she was in a completely different area of the apartment that we lived in. And this happened constantly, to the point where I ended up calling her the quantum dog. I'm like, I don't know if you're just popping in and out of wormholes, or if you're just like choosing different things, or you're all over the place, or I'm just sort of in a place where I'm not choosing a timeline, and so I'm observing alternate timelines. I still don't know what was going on, but these things seem to be picking up. Now, of course, if you've been keeping up to date with my content, which I don't blame you if you haven't, it's a lot, I do want to mention that the reason why these things are happening is because we are getting hit with solar flares. The frequency here is shifting rapidly. Time is speeding up and sometimes slowing down, and things are duplicating. Things are, they're glitchy. They're happening simultaneously. And we are no longer existing in a linear reality, right? We're existing in a simultaneous reality where things are stacked on top of each other. And in that place, things get a little weird. They get a little bizarre. I knew that 2024 to 2028, things were really going to get extra glitchy. And this is where I feel torn, right? What do we focus on? And I'm sure you're the same way. For me as a teacher, I'm confused. Do I teach about the third dimension and do we talk about politics? Do I teach about the fourth dimension? Do we talk about agendas and conspiracies and shadow governments? Or do we talk about the fifth dimension, which is unconditional love and activating our DNA and seeing beyond polarity? And from my understanding, right now, where it stands, the majority of society is still in the third dimension. Then we've got a bigger portion and an ever so growing portion of society moving into the fourth dimension. And you can think about the fourth dimension in this sort of hypothetical sense or theoretical sense as sort of the layer behind the third dimension. So if you're taking a look at a box, like a three-dimensional, I guess it would be four-dimensional, just like think about a box, okay? You're taking a look at a box, it's physical, it's material, it's particles, it's atoms, all right? And then it's really the shadow behind the box, right? In a hypothetical sense, that is this fourth dimensional layer. It's like we're not just looking at the box, we're saying what's behind the box, what's around the box, how is the box affecting other things? Are there other things other than just the box? And then in the fifth dimensional sense, we are observing both the shadow and the box itself, and we're saying, this is interesting that both the box itself and the shadow, and guess what? There's something that we can't even see or perceive, which is the energy in and around the box. And that's really the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension isn't light and love and butterflies and rainbows and good vibes. The fifth dimension is the ability to observe the lower dimensions objectively. And the lower dimensions, right, the third and the fourth, it is this physical reality, the understanding within and around this physical reality, and then the understanding outside of this physical reality. And so for me, it's like I could do a fifth dimensional DNA activating, some sort of downloaded video. And I'm going to get a quarter of the views that I would get if I targeted the fourth dimension or even the third dimension. So for me, it's like, how do I even engage with a world that is shifting so rapidly? And for you, you're probably wondering the same thing. I don't know if you're in America and you've tried to have a conversation about politics with anyone, but watch out because both sides absolutely hate each other right now. And it is a very polarizing time to exist in the United States. And so, once again, it's do we talk about the weather? Do we just go for it and talk about the shadow government and clones and the Illuminati and the fact that everyone's just a puppet? Or do we go beyond that and say, hey, do you believe that extraterrestrials exist and that maybe there's an organization who's here to help us? And maybe we're not just human, maybe we're just energy beings. And what would that mean for you? And the problem with going to the highest level is that it's not necessarily applicable to the average everyday human. For them, it's, well, why would I read a book on Dolores Cannon when none of that really makes sense to me? Like none of that actually applies to my life. Like how does that add value to my current state of existence? And it doesn't at first. But as you all know, when we start to question the very nature of this reality, it starts to unfold the very fundamental aspect of who we believe we are. And I'm going to actually go off script here a little bit. And by script, I mean I write notes for each video. I want to talk, and this is just coming up because this is actually a download I received just yesterday and then a little bit today. Within the third dimension realm, it feels like individuals are labeling themselves so much. And yeah, we could call it PC or politically correct. We could call it the Dems. It's the Democrats, you know. We could call it wokeism, screw wokeism, or yay for wokeism, or whatever side you're on. But the realization that I made just yesterday is that the more we focus on the physical attributes, the physical traits of this reality, and by focus, I mean label. And then what do we do with labels? Ooh, we attach ourselves to those labels. Hi, so I'm a cisgendered Caucasian female who identifies as a psychic, and every once in a while I'll do some past life regression. I don't know. I don't know what all my labels would be. Like, hi, I'd like a non-fat, extra skim, a double hot latte with vanilla oat foam whip. I don't know, right? Like, I don't know. But it's ridiculous. And the more we focus on these labels, the more we feel obligated to align ourselves, our identities, our being, our friends, our careers, our conversations with those labels. And then the more we feel almost singled out or different or unique within those labels, the more awkward and uncomfortable we feel with everyone else because it's an us versus them situation. And if you're not also a cisgendered, bisexual, Caucasian female, then maybe we can't be friends, right? Maybe we actually don't get along because you're different than me. And I don't know if I feel safe in this environment, right? And then what happens when you feel outed and you don't feel safe is you fucking double down on your attachment to the labels that you put on yourself to begin with. And you're like, okay, now I'm really going to be this thing. And what happens is we separate and we separate and we separate from each other. And then we're really the us versus them. I mean, heck, you're my neighbor, or you're in Germany, or you're in the Netherlands, or wherever you are in the world. And I really view everyone as just human, right? If we detach ourselves from the labels, if we actually start questioning the very nature of the reality and the language and the labels and the attachments and the projections and the differences, and we just say, hi, I'm a human. Oh my goodness, you're a human too. What if we're actually more than human? And we unravel the layers. We unravel the layers. We unravel the political attachments and beliefs. We unravel the socioeconomic differences. And we actually see each other as what we truly are, which is energy. Yay! This physical being is such a momentary experience. And the problem is that people are looking for meaning. They're looking to understand at a deeper level. And because they're not resonating with any religions, they think that there is no answers within the spiritual realm. So they double down on the physical And then they get even more lost, even more unhappy, even more depressed because that really doesn't resonate. But now they're locked in with it and they're just chasing their losses by continuing to double down on these identifiers. And one of the videos that I was potentially going to do today was on the transgender movement and what that is all about. And I already have a couple of videos on my website about it. But this is really my belief. Like, why can't we just show up as ourselves? And so even though spirituality may not resonate with a person immediately because they're so locked into this physical realm, eventually it's going to chip away at those beliefs. Eventually, you're actually going to feel safe and comfortable with a whole community and group of others who are also chipping away at those beliefs to say, wow, everything is an illusion in the best possible way. And now I'm free within this body. I'm free within this reality. I don't have to label, I don't have to attach, and therefore I don't have to project. There's so much energy that goes into just trying to upkeep this fake life. What if it wasn't fake? Right? I mean, it's like social media is such a great example of how illusionary this reality is. It's all just a projection. If you're projecting yourself online, then you're definitely projecting yourself in person. We've got to get to a place of authenticity. We've got to get to a place of integrity. We've got to get to a place of being fucking honest with ourselves. And therefore, we can then be honest with the world. And when we can all show up integral and honest and authentic, then we can truly see each other for what we are, which is energy beyond physical. So one of the things that has really allowed me to stay just a little bit sane, and I know a lot of you probably think I'm insane, and I'm definitely insane because I mean this world is very programmed, and I think people like us go outside of that program. But one of the things that actually helps me during this weird flux, right? During this old world, new world, 3D, 4D, 5D, is actually grounding into my human. I find that when I'm overwhelmed thinking the stock market is crashing, we knew that was going to happen. There's a food crisis, there's chemicals they're spraying in everything. This political debate is terrible. People are so brainwashed. Like, in so many ways, we could look at the world right now. There's wars that are waging around really silly, seemingly silly religious beliefs and attachments and projections. And we could look at all of these things and really think, yeah, there's no hope. There's definitely no hope. We're not getting out of this. And that can be so depressing, as we all know. And I think we've all dipped into those lower frequencies, especially in this year. And so what helps me is, it's going to sound silly, but whatever. It's cooking. It's cleaning. It's showing up and being a mom. That helps me. It helps me because I feel like I can actually make a difference in my own life. And by stepping sort of out of the cluster that is the world right now, stepping into my own life and being present and showing up and saying, I can choose to buy ingredients and make a meal and then make the meal and then eat the meal and enjoy the meal. Wow, what an incredible thing I just accomplished, right? So there is a flow. So what I'm trying to get at here is, where's your focus? What are you focusing on? It's okay to dip into the exhaustion, to dip into the illnesses, to dip into the injuries, to dip into the glitchiness, to dip into the overwhelm and the anxiety and the hopelessness. And it's totally okay to dip into the meditation and the gratitude and the high vibes and the infinite energy. But understand that both are actually just different sides of the same coin. And by observing both and appreciating both in that state of being, we can learn from it and move on from it really quickly. So keep it really simple and understand that being back in your body, being back as a human and trusting that things have to collapse in order to get better, you really start to be in the flow of life rather than trying to attach or control or navigate, and really be fearful of what is happening. Because it's easy to be fearful of what's happening because there's a lot of fear that's happening. There's a lot of bullshit that's going on right now. Okay. All right. So I have a couple of last things I want to mention. And before I get there, I just want to say thank you for being here. Subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. Please go to the website, check out all of the content I have there. That feels like my platform of safety and, ad-free, censorship-free. So if you want more, if you want to binge watch everything, just head to the website. I have all my YouTube videos on there as well, and you can watch absolutely free. Not only is there a free membership tier forever, but there's also a free 7-day trial if you want access to more content. Okay. So when I meditated today and I asked, what do people need to know? I got this sentence, and as always, take or leave any of this. The only way forward is in between. I'm going to repeat that. The only way forward is in between. It's not this or that. It's not have or have not. It's not black or white. It's not depression or happiness. It's both at the same time. And the only way to be in between is to not attach, is to observe, is to actually be okay with both states of being. If anytime you feel like you're losing your mind, you're going crazy, you're suffering from anxiety attacks, or you're actually just utterly exhausted because you're flip-flopping in between a high vibration and a low vibration multiple times a day, remember to take a step back. The only way forward is in between both realities, both timelines, both polarities. Remember, you are here to be the concluder of the old earth and the way shower of the new. Once again, you are here to be the concluder of the old earth and the way shower of the new. You have the tools for both vibrations. And what you focus on internally and externally is what's going to dictate the timeline that you hop into in the next moment. As always, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. I will see you on Thursday for the 8/8 Lionsgate portal video happening on YouTube, and then part 2, which is the meditation, happening on my website right after. And then this coming Sunday, I've got the Galactic Federation Summit, so be sure to check that out if you really want to hear from our cosmic galactic alien buddies. All right, that is all for me. Thank you for allowing me to rant. And we're in this together. You're not alone. You're here for a reason. And I am here to help show you how absolutely magnificent you truly are. Bye for now.